I look a little tired because I'm not sleeping well, because I am a little tired. I have my, I hope, trial finally coming up. Today's Sunday, January 6th. So on Monday, January 8th, and possibly the 9th. The 8th might get bumped, just like the last time. But supposedly there's nothing going on the Tuesday, and I'm not going to borrow trouble. I'm just going to hope that this is finally going to happen. I'm going to have my day in court. I'm going to be heard. The reason I'm not sleeping is just because I'm triggered and it's stressful, and where I was going to be behind a screen and not see my perpetrator at all, now, because it's on Zoom, which is better for me because I don't have to travel back to Toronto, I am going to see him, and I'm realizing no way to escape that. And I just don't want to. I haven't really unwrapped those feelings yet. I'm just breathing through them and trying to focus forward and getting through this. And I can't remember if when I videoed before how I documented this, because it was kind of a whirlwind, but the reason I'm documenting it is because I want people to know that when you're a victim of any crime whatsoever, I think, but I'll talk about domestic violence because that's what this was, and you decide that you're going to be a part of the prosecution in Canada, that is my decision. It isn't the Crown taking it over and deciding to run with it, where in the United States, there's a lot of places where the state prosecutes in a way that the victim doesn't have the power to make that decision, which I agree with. I've been in that situation as well when I was 19. And I think that that's a good way to go, because as victims, a lot of times we grapple with the guilt of what somebody did to us and all of these different things, and it's very complicated. And I can remember at the beginning of this, when I was deciding what to do, I was doing it to protect other people. It wasn't about what he did to me. And as I went through the process of thinking about it, processing my feelings, thinking more critically, I determined that I'm doing this because nobody gets to hurt me anymore and walk away like they did nothing. This is about me getting justice first and foremost. And the secondary thought, instead of putting myself on the back burner, is that I'm hopeful that I protect other people from his violence. And also, who knows, maybe the Crown can go back to other cases where his victims would not have been able to seek justice because he didn't have a record, kind of thing, and they didn't have the documentation that I have. So those are just my thoughts for the day. I feel like I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards, but hopefully once this is all over, I can get back to sleeping well and just be able to process whatever is left from the trauma that he perpetrated, that I ended up going through because of him, and whatever I go through in the courtroom, I have no idea. Oh, that's the other thing. He gets to know everything about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, with the Crown, all of our conversations. I have to be careful how we communicate, the whole 9 yards. And I get to know nothing. So is this about finding the truth, or making it easier for somebody who perpetrates a crime to get away with it? Because if it's about finding the truth, then why don't I have equal access to his information? Something to think about. I feel like the system is weighted against victims. That's what I feel like at this point. And by the way, I'm a survivor, no longer a victim. I also don't like that it's called victim services.